Hey, everybody, it's TexAgs Rewind. David Nuno, your trusty friend here hosting the program. I'm going to go to Eric Casares here. He doesn't know what's on my list of things on the show. But, Eric, if you were a guessing man, what was on the show? What are we going to put on the Rewind?
Coach Trisha Ford talking about softball. We got a game today.
Yep.
That was at the end of the show. I don't know if you ever put Pat Henry on the...
Sometimes we do. I wouldn't say it like that. Goodness gracious.
Well, no, it was like more of a clarity thing type of question.
I think we put him on, sure.
Okay, so we had Coach Pat Henry, 9:35 every Tuesday.
He's not on today's rundown, but he was on the show. He was good.
We had Tom Hart. We had some technical difficulties getting him on, but we got him on.
What do you got to tell the people the technical? You're just taking a negative approach on all of these.
This is not negative. It's just facts. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop talking.
I will finish now because Eric has dampened the mood. Is that even a way to phrase it? Tom Hart on the program. Great conversation. Maybe a technical issue in the beginning, but who cares? That won't be on the Rewind. And, of course, we talked to Olin Buchanan, who's on the show every once in a while. I don't know if you know that, about college football changes. That and more, it is TexAgs Rewind.
They should play the first two rounds on
campus?
On campus.
Which is what they're planning on doing. That's at least the feeling.
You're asking your fans too much to travel too much.
It also says here, if the season starts earlier, that means camps must begin earlier, which starts a discussion about the conflicting summer school at some programs.
Once again, does that week make that big a difference? Plus, I'll say it, why do you have to? You just got to – you do it like the NFL. You do it like high schools in Texas. You finish your season, the next week you start your playoffs. Why is that so difficult?
It doesn't have to be. Future playoff venues, as you mentioned, as a model, first-round games will be played on campuses with the top 4 ranked conference champions receiving byes. That means the 8 lowest-ranked teams, number 12 at number 5, number 11 at 6, number 10 at 7, and 9 at 8.
Now, is the next week when the top 4 teams play?
Yeah.
Are they at home too?
Doesn't say that about the second round.
It should be, but they should be, but.
Yeah, they should. The top 4 seeds should absolutely get home games. So it should be the first 2 rounds, right?
Well, first of all, they should have 16 teams. Because I've said it before, if
you may get that in 2026.
What you're saying is, of the field, 8 teams have to win 4 games to be national champs. 4 teams only have to win 3.
Well, here it says for the next 2 years, each of the next New Year's Six Bowls will rotate through the quarterfinals and semifinals.
Okay, so
I guess the top 4 don't get home.
So we want you to pay all this money every year to get your tickets, and now we want you to travel to this place, and then we want you to travel to this place, and then we want you to travel this. It's okay. You've got the money, and keep making us rich.
Well, if you're one of the top 4 seeds and the other seeds are getting – the next 4 are getting home games, and that's more money at the gate for you. What are your thoughts, as I answer your own question, about field storming here in the SEC?
Well, first of all, the head office in Birmingham, rightfully so, takes a lot of pride in being a tone setter throughout college sports, college football especially. If there's going to be a rules change that they think benefits the sport, they're going to be on the front end of it. And I give them credit 99.9% of the time. Here's the deal. I love field stormings. I think they are fantastic. They are as much a part of college football as marching bands are, okay? There was this push about midway through last season where the college football national media, supported by the fan base, started to say, hold on a second. We need to make sure there are more playoff games in home stadiums. And do you know what really was the exclamation point on that? Was Tennessee's win against Alabama and the fact that they stormed the field afterwards. And the scene in Knoxville that day made decision makers in college football, ADs throughout the country, folks on committees, coaches, sit back and say, wait a second, we could have this in the playoffs? Like, we could have this home field advantage and these light shows and crowds storming the field and this enthusiasm that you don't see on fall Sundays. We could have this in our postseason, or we could be playing at the Citrus Bowl or at NRG or at, Ford Field in Detroit. And I think everybody from the SEC, the Pac-12 saw it. And folks at Penn State said, wait a second. how great would a home playoff game be here in Happy Valley? And everybody kind of embraced it. And field stormings are part of that. And
It's still kind of playing the way they were playing when they were struggling, at least from a pitching. And I say kind of because the offense has gotten better, but they're winning series. So what has changed?
Well, I'm not sure, to be real honest. Like you said, they're kind of winning series how they have, since Schloss has been here. I was looking through the stat sheet this morning and the schedule and just trying to kind of get my bearings on the team and where they're at. And one thing I noticed is, since Schloss has been here, the two things they've been able to do really well, number one is defend, and number two is run the bases really well. Those are two things that play every day. It doesn't matter if you're playing on turf or you're playing on grass. You can always run the bases well and you can always defend well. So I would say that's kind of what they've hung their hat on. And, just going through the stat sheet, nobody's pitching it exceptionally well outside of Oshrenbeck. And you've only got two guys hitting 300, but, at the end of the day, all that matters is that you're winning, and so happy to see them doing that.
We always point to Brett Minnick's return to the lineup where the offense really kind of changed. I saw this note that I found very interesting. He's and this is from Bronny. He is averaging a home run every 8 at bats. Not every at bat, that'd be amazing, but every 8 at bats. But he is. I mean, his presence in the lineup has opened things up for others.
You're 100% right. It extends the lineup. It pushes guys like Jace LaViolette down, towards the bottom of the order. And you're exactly right. Brett has done wonders for this offense. It's not only his presence, this is presence on the field. His presence in the batter's box. He's a very well-built young man with lots of power at all fields. Already 7 home runs and only 60 at bats. So that's a double-digit home run pace for only 100 at bats. So, he's been great. He's extended the lineup and definitely been a run producer since he's been back.
Obviously, the offense was huge, and that's the biggest takeaway, but clean defense and really good pitching as well this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, our offense was just really locked in, and our pitching was good enough. We had moments of really good and then moments of not so good. But, we have a lot of arms, we have a lot of looks, and so if, pitcher A is having a bad day, and then we have, 2, 3, 4, 5 pitchers behind her that can come and pick it up. And that's really, that's one of the beauties of our staff is that we have so much depth.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's spotlight a few of the players. I opened the segment talking about Trinity Cannon. Just what has she been able to do for you all this season? And I'm actually going to add to that just the success she's had all season long, but I feel like as we're getting closer to the end of the season, like picking it up even to another level.
Yeah, I mean, she's just getting it. And that's all I can, I don't know how to really put it besides that. She's starting to really dive into the game, dive into her skill set, understanding what pitches work for her, what pitches don't work for her, understanding, we talked a lot about accountability, like her and Rylan and Julia Cottrell. It's really imperative that I get on them at a different level than I do others because they are kind of our faces and our leaders of the team, and they have to be able to take it, and they have to be able to respond in a way that helps the team and the program. And so continuing to have those talks with those players, and Trinity obviously being one of them, I think it's really starting to show, and she's starting to blossom, and she's starting to understand kind of her importance both in the batter's box, but also more importantly in the dugout and in the clubhouse.
All right, we're going to close out the show. So we were trying an experiment that we weren't telling people to like, comment, and subscribe. But Nick Savage made an executive decision. He went over the top of me. He went to management, and he said, we're not doing that anymore. We're telling the people what to do.
Yeah, I didn't really like it. Just, fade to black. It's kind of dull. So we're going to like, comment, subscribe, watch some reels.
Nick,
be here for the next day.
Can I just tell you one thing I don't like?
Okay.
I don't like that it looks like you are in a garage.
Yeah, I know.
The lighting
It is pretty dark.
I have a problem with that. Like, we are the biggest show on the street, and we should.
It is a long street too.
Long.
At least a mile and a half or 2, maybe. It depends on what street.
I just closed the show off.
I know.
Thanks.